Okay, obviously I have a problem here. I'm doing another book haul video, and my wife went to stay with my daughter, and so yesterday I went to two used bookstores and two or three thrift stores and found what I thought were good deals, and I have a hard time saying no to a good deal. And I wanted to go ahead and get this out instead of waiting, um, just so I can get the books on my shelves. Let me go over some Star Trek books I bought. I've just Papa Dale's Trading Post in Lenore City, Tennessee is going out of business, and I got these books 3 for $1, and these were all these Star Treks. And so Gemini by Mike W. Barr. These are the original series, Star Trek New Frontier, Book 4, Peter David. Trek to Mad World by Stephen Golden. Star Trek Gateways, Book 1 of 7, One Small Step by Susan Wright. The Captain's Table, Book 1 of 6, War Dragons. Is this by Kirk? No. L.A. Groff. Stargazer 3, Michael Jan Friedman. Star Trek Log 4, Alan Dean Foster. Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country by J.M. Dillard. Star Trek New Frontier by Peter David, Gods Above. Star Trek Legacy, Michael Jan Friedman. Star Trek New Earth, Book 6 of 6, Challenger, Diane Carey. I've got 3 others of these, so I guess I just lack 2 of these to complete that little set of 6. I mentioned in my other video that I Googled this, and there's over like 850 Star Trek novels. It's just incredible. Time to Harvest, Dayton Ward and Kevin Dillmore. And there's a series, I'm not sure how many of these. A Time to, here's one, Time to Kill by David Mack. And I think there's, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them. Star Trek The Wounded Sky, Diane Duane. Star Trek Corona, Greg Bear. Star Trek Shadow Lord, Lawrence Yep. Star Trek Dwellers in the Crucible, Margaret Wander Bonanno. Demons, J.M. Dillard. Chain of Attack, Jean DeWeese. Deep Domain, Howard Weinstein. Time Trap, David Dvorkin. Home is the Hunter, Dana Kramer Rolls. That one's a duplicate. Yeah, there was a couple I didn't even realize that I already had. This is another one, Ghost Walker, Barbara Hambley. I'll pick the better of the copies and dispose of the other one. A Flag Full of Stars, Brad Ferguson. Ice Trap, L.A. Groff. Windows on the Lost World, V.E. Mitchell. From the Depths, Victor Milan. Trader Wins, L.A. Graff. The Captain's Daughter, Peter David. Twilight's End, Jerry Olshan or Oltian. Invasion, First Strike, Diane Carey. Mind Meld, John Bornholt. Contamination, another John Bornholt. Nightshade, Laurel K. Hamilton. These are the Next Generation books. Requiem. The Best and the Brightest, Susan Wright. Reunion, Michael Jan Friedman. Ancient Blood, Diane Carey. The Dominion War, Book 3, John Van Bornholt. The Captain's Table, this is a series that says 2 of 6. Dujanian's Horde by Michael Jan Friedman. Another Reunion, I think I already showed that. It's a part of a Gateway series, 3 of 7, Doors into Chaos, Robert Greenberger. And then Unification, Jerry Taylor. And 2 from Deep Space Nine, Bloodletter. And Trial by Air, Mark Garland. And then 4 from Star Trek Voyager, Ragnarok. That was by Nathan Archer. This one's by Susan Wright, Violations. Ghost of a Chance, Mark A. Garland and Charles G. McGraw. Invasion, The Final Fury, Dafid Ab Hugh. That's the Star Trek, and this is the other paperback, or mass market paperback, Perdido Street Station, China, Mieville. I got this for 10 cents at a thrift store, so that was pretty cool. Most of these I got from McKay's, a used bookstore in Knoxville. Ben Bova, Orion Among the Stars. Trumps of Doom, a new Amber novel by Roger Zelazny. Robert Silverberg, Valentine Pontifex. Heliconia Summer, Brian Aldiss. A lot of these books I got for just $1 or $2. A couple of them were a few dollars more. Homecoming Harmony, Orson Scott Card. A lot of the books I pick up are books, authors I've read their things and enjoyed, or if I haven't read them yet, it's just from my booktube addiction, watching all these other booktubers, and I just know that there's a lot of these books I'll want to read. Robert Silverberg's Sorcerers of Madripoor. Blue Mars, Kim Stanley Robinson. Ursula K. Le Guin. What is this? Changing Planes. Oh, that one I did in my little impromptu book haul video. Acorna's Triumph, Anne McCaffrey. Acorna's Rebels by Anne McCaffrey and Elizabeth Ann Scarborough. And this one I already had, Acorna's Search, but it's a signed first edition. I think my other was a first edition too, but it wasn't signed. This was $1.50, so I thought that was a pretty good get. Jack McDivitt, Echo. Then here's 3 from Terry Goodkind. The Pillars of Creation. Naked Empire. And Faith of the Fallen. Strange Music, Alan Dean Foster. This one, Tad Williams' Mirror World. It's based on Tad Williams. I didn't realize this at the time, but it's not written by him, and it's an illustrated book. And let's see if I can find an illustration here. But anyway, yeah, I'll read it, but it's not exactly what I expected. Sherry S. Tepper, The Visitor. And then 3, Simon R. Green, Deathstalker. I read the first one and really enjoyed it. I need to continue on in the series because I did enjoy it enough that I would continue. Deathstalker Coda. I don't love the covers, which is unfortunate, but I do love the books. I guess that's the important part, isn't it? And this one I spent a little bit more on, $6, but I'm collecting David Weber, and I guess you could say I'm collecting all of these, but I'm really collecting him. Anne McCaffrey, Freedom's Ransom. Raymond D. Feist, Rides a Dread Legion. book 1 of the Demon War saga. Another Alan Dean Foster reunion. And this is the Tad Williams. It's, of course, you can't see much. It doesn't have the desk jacket, shadow play, but this was also 10 cents at that thrift store. So for 10 cents, and everybody that I watch on BookTube just raves about Tad Williams, how much they love his books, and so couldn't pass it up for 10 cents. Alistair Reynolds, Absolution Gap. I've actually read this, but I enjoyed the Revelation Space books and had the chance to pick this up in hardback and did it. David Brin, Infinity Shore. So that is another big book haul. Which of these books should go to the top of my TBR? Thank you for watching Larry's Legendary Library. I encourage you to stay legendary and like and subscribe. Thank you.